Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the July 21st, 2014 meeting of the Lewis County Board of County Commissioners. We have a full board this morning. All three commissioners are present, and we will begin with the flag salute. Commissioner Schulte. All rise, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I move that we approve the minutes of July 14th, 2014.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to approve the minutes. Are there any corrections, deletions, additions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Public comment. Mr. Fish.
Patrick Fish and 972 Green Mountain Road, Mossy Rock. My problem that I bring to you today is that I went in, I had some work done by a contractor with a written contract under a USDA loan. The work didn't get done properly. I didn't know why it didn't get inspected. I'd called the state on it. The state told me to talk to the county. I went into the county. They told me that the contractor did not get a building permit as required by his contract and the bid that he had submitted. So I asked them for the building permit. I paid for the building permit. And on the building permit, it's got some very specific items that came right off the contract that I wanted to make sure that got done. The inspector came out and basically refused to inspect for all the items that were on the permit itself. I asked about it. He said, well, there was one of the key things was there was supposed to be replacing a beam under the house. He said, well, the guy repaired the beam and it's okay. And I went, no, the permit and my contract says the beam shall be replaced. And he goes, well, that's your opinion. And then he asked me when I said, hey, this is a problem, I want this documented. He goes, why? Why are you doing this? And I said, well, you know, all I want you guys to do is do your job. Inspect as per your permit. And basically it ended up there was 4 items on the permit that they basically refused to inspect for. And I'll try to find my right page here. Sorry. Come here, fingers. Okay. The 4 items that they didn't inspect for or that were inspected improperly. Number 1 on the list was they did some floor joists that were rotted out at the edge of the building. The guy said he inspected 3. I believe there were 7. I haven't been able to crawl under the building. I cannot crawl under the building. What the contractor did was instead of installing 2x6 material to hold the floor up, he notched the 2x6s on the sill so that they're no longer, the stress point is on the woods, the sill for the floor joists is no longer 6 inches. It's down by 1.5 inches, maybe even 2 inches in spots. So it's a literally 2x4 construction. I said, that cannot possibly be legal because it weakens my structure. He says, that's fine. The second one, of course, there was a damaged support beam that was supposed to be replaced that the guy repaired. He said, well, I'm going to okay this repair. And I said, hey, the permit says replace the beam. He says, I don't care. The third item is that there was supposed to be a replacement of 3 pier posts and pier blocks. He did not inspect those at all. The fourth item is that there was supposed to be a relocation of soil to proper clearance. And he said, well, I didn't see that, even though the only access to the house is through a narrowed soil area underneath the bathroom. So being unsatisfied with what he did, I went to the county development department on several occasions. They said, well, we'll get back to you, we'll phone you. I finally had a couple conversations. The conversations basically were that, well, he did a repair and we okayed the repair, so your contract and your building permit, which is specific, says replace and not repair, don't matter. I was told straight out that when I asked about this with Lee, who's supposedly the head of community development, she told me, she says, look, she says, you might not have the right permits. And I went in and got the permit that they told me I needed to have, so I have the right permit. Do not threaten me with more bureaucratic and more spending. She didn't think I was very funny, and she didn't like the idea that I would say something like that, but I don't care. All I wanted was the building to be inspected as per the permit. And I asked repeatedly, she says, I'm approving the repair to the beam. I says, you can't approve the repair. One, it's not on the permit. Two, it's a violation of my contract. Three, you don't have a permit for repairing the beam. You have a permit for replacing the beam. And she says, I'm going to file it anyway. And at that point, I mean, there was no point in talking to her anymore. All I've wanted from the start with this is to get my building inspected as per the contract and as per the permit that I paid for out of my own pocket that the contractor was supposed to pay for. And I kept getting asked the question, why are you doing this, and are you suing your contractor? And I told them straight out, that is none of your business. That is my own private business, what I am doing. I got told, we do not want to interfere with you and your contractor. Well, the county, by requiring building permits and by requiring inspections, is always between the owner and the contractor. And in my mind, the only thing the county should be doing is doing the inspection as per the permit in an unbiased fashion, if there's something the matter, noting it, and settling their end of the deal, rather than trying to interject themselves in my affairs. All I want from the county, and what I would ask for you today, is to please, through a form of a motion or whatever, tell them that they have to do the under-house inspection, that they have to do it as per the permit that has already been granted, and that's all I want.
I would have to ask you the question, Mr. Fish, as to, you know, your project description is repair, replace drywall, chimney, and subfloor. That's the project description. Now, it does say replace damaged support beam in the permit. But does your contract with your contractor, is that language different?
No, the language on the permit, and this I specifically requested, the language on the permit be used off the contract. So they took the language directly off the contract and put it right on the permit. And that was a specific request.
What I would like to do with you is to set up a meeting with you and I and Lee and go over this whole thing. Today would be fine. We could do it after this meeting. Is Lee here today?
Yes.
Carrie? Is she?
She is here. I'm meeting her at 1, so I know she's here.
So if that's possible, after this meeting this morning, that you could come in and I can try to get Lee in and we can sit down and talk about it and see what.
As long as we can come to a resolution, that's all I'm asking. I want my building inspected. I paid for the permits. You know, I just want what happened, what the law says is supposed to happen.
Understand.
Thank you very much. And I'll wait and we can set an appointment time.
Yeah, we'll try to get, in fact, I'll go do it right now. I'll try to get Lisa to get
Thank you.
set up. Did you email her? Okay, we'll try
Thank
to
you.
get that done and we'll let you know before the meeting's done here this morning. Thank you for your comments.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve the consent agenda items 1 through 6, resolution number 14 TAC 217 to 14 TAC 222.
Second?
Motion made and seconded. The approval of warrants is item number 1, 14217. Get back to the right spot here. Today we have 338 regular warrants in the amount of $1,328,593.83. In addition, there are 238 payroll warrants in the amount of $218,792.80. $788 even. That's for approval this morning. Item number 2 is a joint resolution with the other counties of the state of Washington who are members of the Washington State Association of Counties. 2 years ago, we began a process of establishing a fiscal responsibility initiative and a fiscal sustainability initiative via the Washington State Association of Counties. Our purpose was to inform the state and the state legislature and the governor of the plight of the counties with regard to our inability to raise revenues and the increasing costs of doing business in county government. Out of that comes a fiscal sustainability initiative that was adopted by the Washington State Association of Counties, and it highlights and pinpoints those areas where we felt there could be cost savings to the counties, as well as areas that were fiscally responsible ways of raising revenue for the counties, not all of which did we approve of in this county, but we felt that it was necessary to look at the larger body for all the counties involved. In addition, there were resolutions in there regarding how the state was formally mandating county responsibilities and failing to pay for it. We call them unfunded and underfunded mandates that the state passes down to the counties. So those 3 things were subject to purview, and out of that comes a fiscal sustainability initiative. We've been asked to approve this in the form of a resolution, and that's what this item is before us today. Item number 3 is regarding the annexation of the city of Winlock to the Timberland Regional Library System. Edna, would you like to address
Yes.
that?
They're currently a contracted city, and the Winlock City Council passed an ordinance to intend to join the Timberland Regional Library, and it needs to go to a vote of the people. So that is what this does. So calling for a special election for those folks to decide whether or not to annex to TRL.
So that won't be on the November election, that will be a special election?
It'll be in the November election.
That's what I thought, so it's going to be on the ballot, but it's not necessarily a special election.
And our responsibility with this is just to allow it to be placed on the ballot.
So people
We're not approving or disapproving the annexation of the library to Winlock, or Winlock to the library, I guess is the way it goes. I never have quite figured that out. But all we're doing is, our authority stops with giving them permission to put it on the ballot.
Good morning, Commissioners. Tim Elsey, Public Works Director, speaking to item number 4 on your consent agenda. It's resolution number 14-220, authorizing a contract with Cowlitz-Wahkiakum Council of Governments for cost of transportation planning work performed. This contract between Cowlitz-Wahkiakum Council of Governments and Lewis County is provided to support a transportation planner for 2014 and 2015. The planner will support Lewis County and the Lewis County Transportation Coalition in developing comprehensive transportation solutions and to assist in prioritizing and programming transportation infrastructure within the county and developing regional infrastructure improvements. The position that is partially funded by this agreement is Mike Kroll's position as our transportation planner, and he does a very good job. And this is some of the monies that we put into the government for planning come back to us to support this planning position. The term of the agreement is July 1st, 2014 through June 30th, 2015. The maximum amount payable to the county under this contract is $25,000.
Thank you. Questions?
Danette York, Director of Public Health and Social Services, speaking to items number 5 and 6. Number 5 is resolution number 14-221, and this is approving a contract amendment number 10 to the program agreement between Division of Behavioral Health and Recovery under DSHS and Lewis County. So this is our state contract with DBHR, Division of Behavioral Health and Recovery, for our chemical dependency treatment program funding. This, the period for the contract is July 1st, 2014 through June 30th of 2015, and it is for a total of $37,057. That's just for that period, and it brings up the total agreement amount to $2,839,273. And that's for, I'm sorry?
That's for the biennium.
And that's for the biennium, yes. Question?
And this was budgeted, so we don't need a budget amendment.
It was already budgeted, yes. We knew those funds were coming. So item number 6 is Resolution 14-222, and this is approving an agreement between Lewis County and the Department of Social and Health Services, DSHS, Developmental Disabilities Administration. So again, this is our state contract, except for it's for Developmental Disabilities Program. And under both of these contracts, you will later see subcontracts where we receive the funding from the state and then we subcontract the funds out to local providers. This one is also July 1st, 2014 through June 30th of 2015, and it is for an amount of $884,393. Thank you.
Thank you, Danette. Any further discussion on the consent agenda? Now I'll call for the vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Seeing no further business on our agenda, I move that we adjourn.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to adjourn. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. We are adjourned.